Military medicine is only two parts. Everything from the waist up gets an aspirin. Everything from the waist down gets foot powder. Not complicated. But I just barely touched on PTSD the other day, which is very problematic. I suffer from that, and different things trigger it and whatever. And but I thought I'd give you an idea where it comes from. You know, it's hard enough to figure out how to treat it, but where does it come from? And I need a victim. I'm sorry, a volunteer. You available?
Of course.
Oh, take your coat off. I don't want to get it dirty. I have some good news. I'm going to show you the personal side of being a medic. All right, first you're going to have to get your combat training. All right, all of it at once. You keep your head and your butt down. Okay, expect 3 to 8 wounded on the assault. Okay, you're ready to go. Okay, that's training.
Okay.
All right. I will tell you, it's going to be 80 to 100 degrees. It's going to be 80 to 85% humidity. It may or may not be rain. Well, it will be raining. Okay.
Okay.
And you have to pack for 4 days because you're going out on an assault. You don't know if you're going to stay there. You're going to another one, or you're coming back. You have no idea. Okay. So we have to get you started. Fortunately for you, I have brought a couple of things. Now we start the morning out with the fact that you got up and you had your coffee. You're in the jungle, and there's a clearing. Okay, and now you're assembled because you know you're going to do an assault. Every 25 yards is a group of soldiers. 4 soldiers on this side, 20 yards over there, 4 soldiers every 25 yards. And you're standing there in the sun. You're wearing clothes that are about a month old. Okay. They're wringing wet already. It's 7 in the morning. Okay, they're already wringing wet. And you look down, and you've been wearing the same clothes for 3 weeks, 4 weeks. And you see all these black spatters on you. Okay, that's blood from wounded for the last 4 weeks, because you only get clean clothes every 4 weeks if you're lucky. Okay, so that starts to work on your mind. Plus you have the anticipation now that you're going on another combat assault. Combat assault means there is known enemy where you're going. Okay, it's a very hostile area. It's not like we're going to drop you off for patrol. That's something totally different. Okay. So I kind of give you some, the anticipation part. You've done this many, many, many times. Okay, and it's not quite like going to work, but it is about like going to work, except your mind is going through these. What do I do for this type of casualty? What am I going to do if somebody steps on a mine? How am I going to treat? You're going through all kinds of things. And then you got to make sure you are ready. You can't help them if you aren't ready. So you need a flak jacket. Okay. That's required on a combat assault. Doesn't matter how hot it is. All right? No, don't zip it up. Nobody else did, even in Vietnam. That's why most of my fragment injuries were right up through here. Okay? But it's not bulletproof. It's shrapnel. It will stop. Beer cans and bottle caps. Occasionally a brick. Okay? Now, that's the first thing you put on. The second thing you put on is your helmet. Okay? That's 5 pounds. Does it feel heavy?
It's heavy.
That's because it is heavy. All right? If you take care of your head, it will take care of your butt. You might be able to use that later in life. Okay? So, you always have that. Now, how many wounded did I say you were going to have? You would expect
3 to 8.
5 to 8.
5 to 8.
Well, that's a good day. None is a better day. You always be somewhere in the middle. Okay? So you need some medical supplies. So I happen to have here an M5 aid bag. which will have 35 pounds of medical supplies in it, okay? And it's gonna be hot, right? This assumes you have a pistol belt on with a quart canteen, but that's not enough. You need additional water, okay? So you carry 2 quarts, so now he's up to 3 quarts, but you're a nice guy, right?
Sure.
So you carry extra water for your patients, okay? And for all the guys that run off without enough water, okay? So stick your arm through here. All right. That's 5 quarts of water. That's close to 9-10 pounds. But you aren't heavy enough yet. You need some ammo. Okay? You don't go to war without your ammo. All right, stick your arm through there. Now, most of the time, the infantry guys can carry 2 bandoliers. That's 14 pounds. The jacket's 12. 10 pounds of water, 5-pound helmet. Okay? 35-pound backpack. 2 pounds on your boots. Don't worry about the weight of your fatigues because most of them fall off before you get where you're going anyway. So, it's going to be hot. I don't have a green towel, but this will work because you're going to have salt water running in your eyes. Okay, so you're going to constantly wipe them. You're going to have a weapon. Okay, now, what did we forget?
Food.
Huh?
Food.
Food. You're going to get 25-pound case of sea rations. You're going to get rid of the cardboard, the lima beans, the pound cake. You're going to swap some stuff off. There's some stuff there you wouldn't step on, let alone eat. Okay, so you get rid of all that. And you're going to dwindle that down to somewhere between 8 and 10 pounds. Okay, unless they tell you this is a one-day operation. But I would never believe that. Okay. He looks like he's ready to go, right? Now it's really hot and it's really dirty. You know, I ran off this morning, I forgot, I had mixed up a bucket of muddy clay and swamp water. I was really gonna fix you up good. Unfortunately, I left it at the house. Okay, by now, you're smelling pretty good. You're tired, everybody's tired. You haven't even started. And it's getting hotter because you're standing in the sunshine, no shade. You're waiting for the helicopters. The anticipation is growing. Somebody hollers out, they're inbound. So the helicopters are coming in. As soon as they hit the ground, you're going to run out and get on. Okay? One of the guys is going to get inside the helicopter. 3 of you are going to sit with your feet hanging outside the helicopter. Okay? That's so you can make a quick evacuation. All right? So finally, everything takes off. You get up to altitude, and the temperature drops down to 70. And you're going, this is great. I haven't felt this cool since the last time I did this. Okay? So it's cool, it's clear. Big boom box on the bulkhead of the Huey there, playing songs. Turned up as loud as they can turn it up. So you're sitting there. You finally cooled off. The wind has kind of dried you out a little bit. Okay? And your mind's starting to wander a little bit. You're not really thinking too much about landing in the LZ, the landing zone. Okay? You always travel with the command, so you know you're going to be on the first helicopter or the second helicopter, and you're not going to be on the 6th one. Okay, so you're going to be in pretty up front. All right, you'll start thinking about that in a minute. You're just enjoying it. It's cool. Okay, then the captain pulls you back inside the helicopter and he hollers in the ear. He says, "We have a hot LZ, which means it's under fire. You have wounded." So you already know you have wounded on the ground and you haven't even got there yet. So you lean forward and you look outside the helicopter and you look down there and you see a Huey on the ground. It's on fire. You see the guys on the ground. Okay? The Huey starts his final approach down in, and you set back up and you zip that jacket up now. You put that helmet on, and you look straight ahead, and there's a Cobra gunship just about 15 yards out. You can see the mustache on the pilot's face, just as he fires a big volley of rockets. Okay? And you're coming in. And your favorite song that you will never forget the rest of your life is now playing. You remember what that was? No? That's My Girl. Okay? This, just to jog your memory there a little bit. Okay? And every time the song comes on, you will go back through this. All right? And so you start in. You're waiting for 3 words. Out, out, out. You jump. And then you look to see how far it is. It's going to be at least 3 feet. Okay? Because that's how high it is sitting on the ground. So it's going to be maybe 5 feet, 4 feet. You don't know. You don't know if it's going to be muddy, wet, till you look. You can't afford to fall. So you're getting yourself ready to jump, to get yourself in a position that you can't fall. I have to have a stance when I hit that holds me up. I have 120 pounds of gear on my back. Okay? Oh, and I have to run as fast as I can. Okay? So, and did I tell you you're getting shot at? Okay, that's an assumption, right? Helicopter gets down and you hear out, out, out. And the 3 of you jump out all at the same time. And you're standing under the rotor. You got all the rotor wars coming down on you. Okay? The noise of the helicopter. In spite of all of that, you hear a bullet go right through the guy next to you. Right there, right next to you. And as he goes down, that's as far as you go. You go to your first wounded man. Okay? Now you have a chest wound. And you're trying to get some of this gear off of him. Carry them big bandage scissors, and you just start cutting your way through. Okay? You've got to seal the chest wound. You've got to check for an exit wound. And every time you look back, your helicopter's there. It's not a medevac, but he's not leaving because he knows you're wounded and he's not leaving without you. So he's sitting there taking fire. So you got a pilot sitting there holding his helicopter steady. That's causing you to rush even more. Plus you're getting fire. Finally you get Vaseline gauze patch on this guy. And crewman comes out of the helicopter and you set your patient up there and you go over and you zip your 8-bag closed, you pick it up. You don't even put it on your back. You just grab it because you want to get out of that clearing. And you're running. The next guy falls in front of you. Okay? And he's only up to where the 2nd, 3rd chopper was. Okay? Or the last one by this point. I don't count helicopters. Okay? You get up there, it's not a serious wound. You wave the helicopter on. He is still sitting there. He has no arms, no door gunners. Okay? It's just what they call a slick. It's a Huey with no weapons, no gear. It's a Greyhound bus. So you wave him on to get out of there because he's not going to survive too much longer. You get some bandages on this guy and you pick him up and you, 2 of you drag him over to the tree line. Okay? Then your day gets worse. Right? So that's your first 45 minutes today. What do you think?
It's not great.
I'm not great. I will tell you another thing. My first combat injury that was serious, not my first casualty. Minor shrapnel wounds are not a big deal. But I watched the guy in front of me spiraled down, holding his leg. And he was probably 15 yards away. And we were under quite a bit of small arms fire. So I low crawled up to him as I took my aid bag off. And at a low crawl position, I could see where the hole was in his leg. And I cut his pants open, and I'm feeling for the hole in his leg. And does he have an exit wound? And I have to reach my hand clear down around his leg inside the pants. His whole pants is full of blood. Okay, and there was no exit wound. So I patched him up. By the time I got done trying to do this laying down, somebody comes up and said, "Doc, it's clear." So I got up and realized that I'd done a pretty miserable job. And I put a tourniquet on. And got him medevaced. And ever since that day, I have never treated a patient lying down under fire. I sat up on my knees where I could treat my patient. Because that's the only way you can do it. You're the only thing sticking up in the field. Except if you were to look behind you, it's an infantry guy sitting there on his knees firing cover fire for you. You didn't ask him. He just does it. Right? But none of that goes on in your mind. Okay? From the time you got your head pulled back in the helicopter and said you were wounded, okay, you're in a medic moment now. Okay? Later, 4 hours later, 45 years later, you go through all the details. Okay? You put 72 of those missions together. That's a lot. Okay? So that's where a lot of the guys are coming from. Okay? And it's hard to explain. So, all right, thank you.
Thank you, sir.